Scores are here. We're going to check in on, pardon me, Saturday, February 26th contest. We've got just a few games have gone final, but really the reason I'm here is I want to bring to you the rest of the picks that games that have not tipped. You see, it's a big day today, Saturday, February 26th. There's a ton of games, and just want to get them recorded. Pardon me, just a moment. I'm going to. Oh, you can't pause on a live stream. You just got to keep blasting way through it. Let's look at these games that have gone final and see how we're doing so far. And then we'll talk about the predictions. I can't remember where I ended the predictions on the last broadcast. So we'll pick it up somewhere nearby. New Hampshire hosting Binghamton, laying 7.5. We say it's a 5-point game. We're taking Binghamton. And New Hampshire 66-62. That's a 4-point win, and Binghamton is the correct play. All right, off to a good start. Got that dog, and it's a winner for us. How about this one? How about Northeastern hosting Elon, laying 4.5? We say it's a 2-point game. Who are we kidding? Elon's not going to be competitive. And let's go find it. There's still 12 seconds left, but Elon's winning 67-54. So we'll let that one play out. How about Florida at Georgia, laying 9.5? We say Florida. So let's go find this one. And there's 17 different Floridas. So Florida wins 84-72. 12-point victory and a win and a cover. So, wow, we're off to a pretty good start. And what about Toledo hosting Miami, Ohio? We say 13.5. Well, Vegas is 13.5, and we say 18. Let's see if this one's final. Yeah, it is. So Toledo 88-73. So what is that? That's 15 point. 3-0, folks. This game I think is still in progress. Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma laying 3.5. We say Oklahoma State was the game. It's a money line for us, and see how close they are to finishing. End of the second, it's 54-54. So they're going into overtime, which is boding well for our money line. Just real quick, did this game finish? It is. Okay, so Elon wins 67-54. Wow. Improbable is what I'm going to call it. I mean, at Northwestern, huh? Wow. Okay. Elon's not great, folks. I mean, they don't have a great record, and they're very good. But Northeastern clearly should have been the favorite, but even at home. But Elon came up and overcame all that. Purdue, there's 40 seconds left here. Michigan State beating Purdue 65-63. So we'll have to see how that one finishes. Man, I apologize. My voice is just distracting. Let's see if this water will help. Rhode Island hosting Duquesne. Man, this is unprofessional. What kind of broadcaster am I? So there's still 11 minutes left in the Rhode Island Duquesne game. It's a 10-point lead for Rhode Island. Eastern Kentucky and Bellarmine. Eastern Kentucky's just killing them, 42-25, but the second half just tipped. So let's go down to where I think, can't remember exactly where I left off. But I do want to get some of these. Where did I leave off? Well, let's just start here with Kentucky and Arkansas. So Arkansas is hosting Kentucky, laying 2.5. Computer says 8-point victory for Kentucky. It's a money line play, and I think that's pretty realistic. Home court advantage is one thing, but when you got the athletes and you're playing well, that's quite another. Not to say that Arkansas isn't playing well. They're very good. North Carolina hosting NC State, 3.5's the line. We think North Carolina cruises here. Hofstra hosting William and Mary, 17.5's the line. We say Hofstra covers that, and I think that Hofstra they had a poor outing in their last game. Let's just double check that. So here's Elon, 5-22, but they did beat Northeastern today, who was 8-19. It's just a little bit improbable. But Hofstra has good numbers, winning record. Yeah, they got. Oh, and Elon got them. What? Oh, well, what's going on with Elon? What the hell? So Elon wins at Hofstra and then at Northeastern. Have they been playing possum all year? Come on, Elon. I mean, that's just all year you've been playing possum. I got my eye on you, Elon. There's something strange going on. But anyways, I think Hofstra's going to bounce back, have a big game against William and Mary, and cover that 17.5. Yale at Cornell, laying 1.5. We agree with Vegas. We think Yale wins by 6. Davidson hosting Fordham, 11.5's the line. We say 13. Davidson's our play. Davidson rarely lets you down. A very, very solid team. Always a good bet, it seems. Clemson at Boston College, laying 1.5. We kind of agree. We say 8. Clemson is our play, but Boston College is at home, and they're pretty good at home. Oakland hosting Cleveland State, laying 1.5. We say Cleveland State wins the game. It's a money line. Oakland has been very poor lately. Let's go take a look. It's worth looking at because that's a good team. Oakland has been great all year long until now. They've lost 3 in a row to teams they should have beat. They're 16-11. They've scored more points than they've allowed. Cleveland State, 16-8, good team. They've scored about 100 more points than they've allowed. And the game's at Oakland, but you can't overlook Cleveland State there. That's what I think. So I like that play, that money line play. I think Cleveland State does beat Oakland. They're just not playing well. Western Illinois hosting Denver, 7.5's the line. We say by 8, so we're just a half point, dancing on that half point. But we're taking Western Illinois. New Mexico State at Chicago State, 16.5's the line. We say 27. They're playing very well, New Mexico State. Of course, Chicago State is not a great team. Miami of Florida hosting. I don't buy this. I think Vatech's going to go into Miami and win this game. That's me personally, but the computer and Vegas say otherwise. 1.5 is the line. Miami of Florida winning against Virginia Tech is the call here. But if I were you, I'd either walk away, don't play that game, or go with the dog, go with Virginia Tech. That's just me. Ball State hosting Eastern Michigan, laying 7.5. We think it'll be just a 6-point game. So we're taking the dog. We're taking lots of dogs today. Lots being a relative term. Grambling hosting Florida A&M in a Southwest Athletic Conference. I call it the SWAC. I'm terrible at the SWAC. They've just been really hard to pick all year long. But we are taking FAMU here, Florida A&M. We think they'll only lose by 1 at Grambling. Xavier hosting Seton Hall, 3.5's the line. No, we think it's going to be a 1-point game. So we're taking Seton Hall there as the dog. Ole Miss hosting Texas A&M, 2.5's the line. We think Ole Miss at home will cover that and win by 4. That's our play, Ole Miss. New Mexico hosting Air Force, 7.5's the line. Air Force is no good. They're not good. They're not good. We think New Mexico wins by 9. New Mexico has been slumping a little bit lately, but they'll still beat Air Force. Big game here. Tennessee hosting Auburn. We have it as a money line. Tennessee laying 3.5, and we think Auburn wins the game by 1. So we have that as a money line play. If Auburn shows up to play and they play up to their potential and they fight and they scrap, it's going to be a close game. I mean, they're just very evenly matched. But we think that's what Auburn will do. Utah Valley hosting Cal Baptist, 6.5 the line. We say Utah Valley by 7. That's our play. Drexel hosting Charleston, 2.5 the line. We think it'll be a 1-point contest. We're taking the dog. We're taking Charleston. Winthrop, 18.5 favorites over Charleston Southern, who is horrible. They're just not. I mean, I don't think basketball's in their list of priorities in the athletic department. We think it's a 22-point victory, Winthrop at home. And I even though that's a lot of points, I'm so comfortable with that. Maryland Eastern Shore hosting Coppin State, 2.5 the line. We think it's a 4-point win for the team. I've publicly admitted this. I have a crush on Maryland Eastern Shore. They're a better program than they have been in the last 15 years. I mean, they're actually winning games. Cal State was that a money line? No, it wasn't. Cal State Fullerton hosting San Diego, 3.5 the line. We say it's a 9-point victory. We're taking Fullerton here over the Tritons of San Diego. Charlotte hosting Florida Atlantic. I don't know about this game. Something strange about it. Charlotte laying 0.5 point. We got FAU winning the game. It's a little puzzling, but that's what we have. It's a money line. We say Florida Atlantic wins by 2, money line play. Virginia hosting Florida State, 7.5 the line. That's a little too many. Florida State loses by 4. That we're taking the dog. Gardner-Webb at USC Upstate, laying 4.5. We think Gardner-Webb wins by 12. That's our play. Gardner-Webb on the road. Illinois State hosting Indiana State. These teams are just really evenly matched. 2.5 the line. We think Illinois State wins by 3. That's by virtue of, yes, a 0.5 point, but really by virtue of they're at home. So Illinois State's our play there. You want to know who's good? You wouldn't guess. North Texas is really good. I mean, like tournament good, not Sweet 16 good. But they'll get they'll get past the first round easily, I think. Man, they're a good team because La Tech's a very good team. And Vegas is North Texas at home, laying 4.5. We think it's going to be by 7. But you got to see this, folks. North Texas, here they are. I mean, they're 19-4. They've allowed almost exactly 200 more points than they've scored 200 more points than they've allowed. And, I mean, anytime you see this, you're talking about a good team. What was impressive was this UAB victory. UAB, not a lot of people are talking about, but, they're really good too. 19-7, North Texas beat them by 1. These are tournament teams, North Texas and UAB. They're both tournament teams. And but now you got Louisiana Tech, who is also very good. I don't know if they're a tournament team, but they're 17-7. They might be a tournament team. I don't know how many of the Conference USA gets in, but these would be the folks we're talking about. North Texas, UAB, La Tech, and maybe Western Kentucky. Maybe. Maybe not really. They're 15-11. Nah, they don't get in. Never mind. So good basketball there. Really competitive in the Conference USA. But I just want to put the red alert out. That's a really good team right there. Vermont, Vermont's got they have a great record. I don't want to look at every single game or every single team, but Vermont is just the class of the American East Conference, which is like being the tallest guy at a midget convention. They're 22-5. They just don't have any stiff competition in the American East. Yeah, they're the tallest midget at the convention. I don't care if you hate me for that, by the way. But 16.5 is a lot of points, and we say they beat UMass Lowell only by 16, so that 0.5 point gives it to the dog there. But Vermont's just accustomed to just cruising through these games. They just don't get challenged. Howard hosting NC Central 6.5 the line. Howard's been slipping lately. I like this play. I like North Carolina Central here to do the backside cover. Oh yeah, we've already talked about these actually because these 3 games in a row are all underdogs and are all determined by half a point. You see it? It's like double checking everything after I did it. Delaware hosting UNC Wilmington. They're a good team. I like that play. 5.5's the line. We say Wilmington's the play. New Orleans at Northwestern State. This is strange. 1.5. We say it's a 13-point. What are you talking about, Big? It's Northwestern State. Get out of here. But it is a Southland conference, so I do struggle with the Southland. Chattanooga hosting Samford, laying 9.5. Just want to check something real quick because I get my Samfords confused with my Furmans and my Woffords in the Southern. Yeah, no, okay, so Samford is on a bit of a winning streak here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they beat Wofford. They beat East Tennessee State. These are good teams. They beat VMI. They beat the Citadel. They beat Furman. Are they going to add Chattanooga to that list today? It's possible. Man, it's possible. So Samford is playing really well. Let me take a look at this again. Boy, I wish I had Samford here. That's way too many points. Way too many points. I think that's a loser. I would definitely take Samford here. So Drake hosting Southern Illinois, 5.5's the line. We say 5. Drake's been playing really well. That's a tough team. Southern Illinois is a tough team, but on the road at Drake, I actually think Drake wins and covers here. Towson at James Madison, 5.5's the line. They just played, and Towson just beat them really well, really bad. So now we're going to flip. We're going to go to JMU. Might be a different story, but I think that's a safe play. I don't like this one at all. East Carolina hosting Tulsa, 1.5's the line. I don't think Tulsa hasn't proven anything this year. I don't know why, but the computer is saying take Tulsa. UCLA at Oregon State, coming off a loss to Oregon. Now they travel, I think it's 50-something miles over to Corvallis. And they're still UCLA, man. You know, and Oregon State is still, there's like 3-25, right? I mean, they're just not good. Yeah, are they going to cruise through the tournament, the conference tournament this year like they did last year, and then make a deep run into the big tournament? I don't think so. Not this year. Talking about Oregon State. We think UCLA drills them. That's our play. Wagner and Bryant. Wagner is just simply the better team, but Bryant's at home, so they're laying 2.5. So it's a money line play, and we got Wagner on the money line. Weber State has been playing very poorly lately. They've just not been very good at all. Now here, they're traveling to Northern Arizona, who's awful. They're not good. I still think Weber is 7.5 points better than NAU, but computer says 15. But again, we don't do anything to mitigate home court advantage. So you take that, cut it in half at 7.5. I think that's a good play. I'm just very concerned about Weber. Something's wrong with Weber. Campbell hosting Longwood, laying 2.5. We think Longwood's going to win the game, so it's a money line. Longwood's good. Campbell's been slipping up lately. Might be worth a peek at the Big South there just to drive the point home. So here's Campbell. And yeah, lately they've just been a mediocre team. Nothing special about Campbell. They got decent numbers, 13-10. But here's Longwood. So the lower the number, the better the team, right? So 12.48 for Campbell. Longwood's the better team with 11.84, according to the scores are. And Longwood's just been really solid. I mean, look at all these wins. Look at all these wins. They beat Gardner-Webb. They already beat Campbell. They beat Winthrop. They beat Asheville. And everyone beats Charleston Southern. Longwood's a good team. Boy, I tell you, I think that game is misplayed by Vegas. So I like our money line play there. They just love the home court. Vegas says, if you're the home team, you're going to win the game. Well, not every time. So that creates a money line situation. Moorhead at SIU Edwardsville. 9.5's the line. We say that it's a 14-point win. I like that play. Moorhead, good play. I don't like this play because Delaware State, as bad as they are, has been playing teams tough lately, and they're at home, and they're getting 5.5 from Morgan State, who is not a good team. I really wish I was down on this. I would take Delaware State there. Austin Peay, not good. On the road at Eastern Illinois, perhaps one of the worst teams in college basketball this year. There's 358 teams. If they're not number 355, I'd be surprised. And I can check, but I don't want to burn too much time. So 7.5's the line. We say Austin Peay by 16. No problemo. UNC Asheville hosting Presbyterian. 4.5's the line. We say 6. So that's our play, UNC Asheville. VCU laying 5.5 on the road to UMass. Not a good team. We say VCU by 13. I think that's a solid play. This one, Notre Dame at Georgia Tech, laying 9.5. Computer says only by 10. So by virtue of that half point, we have to take Notre Dame. But I think Notre Dame beats the hell out of Georgia Tech. I don't know what Vegas and the computer see, but Georgia Tech isn't good. Evansville. Evansville hosting Missouri. Okay, Missouri State on the road at Evansville. Let's do it that way. 13.5's the line. 23 is what the computer says Missouri State. That's a solid play right there. Evansville, not a good team. Murray State, everyone's talking about Murray State. They're on the road at Southeast Missouri State. Obviously not a team of their caliber. 11.5's the line. We say 26, Murray State. That's just a simple play there that everyone should agree with that. 11.5's not enough. Nichols at Southeastern Louisiana State. It's a Southland game. I do poorly in the Southland, but we do think Nichols is a much better team, so we're taking Nichols. Man, I think I've done all these games. We've got so much more to cover. I got to pick it up. These are on tape. Where did I know this one wasn't? Was it Belmont? No, I know. Okay, well, let's just all right. I'm just going to blow through these. Santa Clara hosting Portland, 10.5's the line. We say 15. Santa Clara is our play. This one, the money line play here. Rarely, in fact, I can't think of another time that this has happened where Vegas has the road team laying the points to the home team, and we flip it to the home team on the money line beating the road team. And that's exactly what it is. Very unusual. All these other money line plays are all road team at the home team, right? Okay, they're all that way, with the exception of this. So really unusual play. I'd be very curious to see how that one plays out. San Francisco at San Diego in a West Coast Conference matchup. 12.5's the line. You better believe it, man. They're really good. 21 points is a victory there. We're calling for San Francisco's to play. McNeese hosting Incarnate Word. This is a horrible play. McNeese ain't no good, but neither's Incarnate Word. So I don't know. Maybe it's not such a bad play. 8.5's the line. We say 8. Taking Word. We're taking Word. Bowling Green hosting Western Michigan. Mediocre team, awful team. 8.5's the line. We say 14. Bowling Green's our play. Brown hosting Columbia. Columbia is really poor this year. Brown's decent. We think it's an 18-point victory. They're going to cover that 15.5. Browns are play. Duke at Syracuse. The line 6.5. We think, again, folks, I don't adjust for home court. Okay, so it would be this predicted score if Duke was at home. Okay, that's why we're doing poorly. And I've talked about it a million times. I don't want to put some fake generic factor in there to give a home court extra points. Okay, I'm just not going to do it. So we're going to stay 50%. That's just how it is until we get to the tournaments, and then we're going to shine. But we say Duke cruises into Syracuse, knocks them out, and bloodies their nose. And the Boeheim brothers, they're good, but we think Duke overcomes that. Loyola Chicago. This is a good game. Loyola, oh God, here we go again. The Ramblers from Chicago that play at the school that begins with an L at Northern Iowa. who's tough, particularly at home. 1.5's the line. We say 12, but they're very tough at home. That's a good team, Northern Iowa. Alabama hosting South Carolina. 10.5's the line. We say 11. I think South Carolina's been playing well. I don't know about that. That might be an underdog play you might want to consider. Norfolk State hosting South Carolina State. This is the MEAC, and I do poor with the MEAC. 10.5's the line. We say 12. Norfolk's about the only decent team in the MEAC. The MEAC is the Metro. I always make a joke of this. Metro European Athletic. I don't know what that E stands for, but it stands for something. St. Bonaventure at St. Joe's. St. Bonaventure's clearly the better team. 6.5's the line. We say 10. Take St. Bonaventure on the road. You won't be sorry. Belmont hosting Tennessee State. Belmont coming off on a really embarrassing loss to Murray State. They lost like 1,006,000 to 3. I mean, it was just by a ton. We think they bounce back against a poor Tennessee State team at home and win by 19. So Belmont's are played. Texas Tech on the road at TCU. This is how good Texas Tech is. 4.5's the line. We think that they beat TCU, who's really good. By 11, Texas Tech is our play. Washington State at UW. 3.5's the line. We say 14. Washington State's our play. Wisconsin on the road at Rutgers. Vegas says 2.5. We think 6. That's a scary place to play. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of thinking Wisconsin does it because they're pretty good on the road, but that's a scary place to play. This is a SWAC game. Who knows, man? I mean, who knows? Prairie View A&M hosting Alcorn State, laying 2.5. We say Alcorn by 1. It's a SWAC game. Nothing ever makes sense in the SWAC. And here's another SWAC game. Southern U hosting Bethune-Cookman, 11.5's the line. We say Southern U by 16, but that's with a shoulder shrug. Like, I guess, maybe. Stony Brook at home hosting Albany, 1.5's the line. We think it's a 1-point game, so we're taking the dog, taking Albany. Man, we still got tons of games to get to. Old Dominion hosting Florida International. 6.5's the line. That is a lot of points to be given up if you're Old Dominion. Not just take them out of the equation. Old Dominion should be laying 6.5 points to anybody. So we think it's a 3-point game, and FIU's our pick. Kent State at Central Michigan, really just dog shit team right here. I hate to be so coarse, but Kent State 8.5's the line. We say by 20. Wake Forest hosting Louisville. 8.5's the line. No problem. That's a great play. I don't think Louisville stands a chance. Wofford hosting Mercer. 8.5's the line. Mercer can be good, but they can be really bad too. And Wofford is hot and cold a little bit as well. But I think at home they're going to cover that line against Mercer. That's our play, Wofford. Wright State, who I'm waiting to just break out. I think that's a really good team, hidden in the Horizon League. Hosting Robert Morris. I think today they put things together because that's not a good team. 11.5's the line, 13 out. It's not a problem for Wright State. That's actually a really good team. Cincinnati has been a disappointment. 11.5 over South Florida. I don't know about this game. Cincinnati just hasn't been playing well. But South Florida, it's a 16-point victory. We're taking Cincinnati, but they just haven't been playing well. In my head, I think Rice is good, but then I look at their numbers. They're not all that great. But this is a horrible team. Southern Miss is terrible. They're terrible in every damn sport. I don't know. They're gravy training, getting the revenue. That's all Southern Miss does. There's no commitment to winning at Southern Miss. So Rice, 15.5, yeah. Rice, with their bad numbers, still destroy this horrible, awful stain on NCAA men's college basketball, known as Southern Miss. VMI. I'm sorry, but sometimes I just let teams have it, and I think Southern Miss deserved that little rat right there. VMI at Western Carolina, 4.5's the line. We say by 13. VMI's our play. Middle Tennessee hosting Western Kentucky. I was really surprised. Middle Tennessee has better numbers than Western Kentucky. Not by much, but they do. Plus, they're at home. 1.5 is the line, but then it's not by much. We think Western Kentucky closes the gap, and it's a 1-point game. We're taking Western Kentucky in this one, but I really think Middle Tennessee is the play. Northern Kentucky hosting Youngstown State, 5.5 line. No way, get out of here with that nonsense. 1-point game. Youngstown, solid play right there. Loyola there. See, I can say it. Marymount, just don't ask me to do it twice. Hosting Pacific, 5.5 line. Pacific, I don't like Pacific because much like Southern Miss, there's no commitment to winning there. But by virtue of the half point, Pacific is our play, and we think that they lose by less than the line to LMU. Got around it that time. Arizona on the road at Colorado, 9.5. 21 points. Arizona's our play. UC Davis hosting Cal State Northridge, 9.5. We're going with Davis at home to win and cover. Northern Colorado hosting Idaho. 11.5. Idaho is not a good team. They're not Southern Miss bad, but they're a bad team. Northern Colorado wins and covers by virtue half a point. We're taking NoCo. That's not a bad play. Game of the day. One of the games of the day. I keep forgetting that Arkansas is playing Kentucky and Auburn is playing Tennessee. But Baylor is playing Kansas, and that is a monster matchup. Baylor at home, 2.5's the line. We think it's a 2-point game. We're playing the Jayhawks here, taking the dog, 2-point game, pulling for the Jayhawks. Tarleton at home to winless Lamar. They have not won a game all year long. 13.5's the line. We think 17 is the Tarleton's our play. Or will Tarleton be the first victim of Lamar, winless Lamar, this year? I don't think so. Illinois, Chicago. This one I don't agree with. Illinois, Chicago hosting Milwaukee. 5.5's the line. We say 5. Milwaukee's our play, but I think Illinois, Chicago smokes them. St. Thomas of Minnesota, new to Division I this year. They're in the Summit League playing Omaha, who's really bad. Omaha is really, really bad. And St. Thomas, they're getting their feet wet. We weren't expecting much out of them this year. 5.5's the line. We say St. Thomas at home by 9. We're taking St. Thomas. Wyoming hosting Nevada, 6.5's the line. I think Wyoming beats them by 20. I really do. I think Nevada has given up on their season. And I think that Wyoming just prevails here. BYU hosting Pepperdine, 16.5's the line. I guess we're going to take BYU. I don't know, man. I just I'm down on BYU. I think they're of this ilk. I think they're second-tier West Coast Conference, which is Pepperdine, Portland, Pacific, San Diego. I just don't see them being a 16.5-point favorite. That's me. Computer does see it, but I don't. Grand Canyon hosting Sam Houston, 5.5's the line. We say it's a 9-point victory for Grand Canyon at home. That's our play. Oral Roberts hosting South Dakota, 5.5's the line. We think it's a 6-point game, so we're going with Oral Roberts. South Dakota State, good team, great team. The Jackrabbits. And you may know them as UMKC. It's Kansas City, according to ESPN. 6.5's the line. South Dakota State is going to cruise into Kansas City and beat the hell out of them. Because South Dakota State's just really good. Texas A&M, I think Houston Baptist is at home here. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, Houston Baptist. They are at home. I don't know why I didn't annotate that. Houston Baptist. Okay. They're horrible. And Texas A&M, Corpus Christi is pretty good. So 3.5, no problem. Easy play, but it is the Southland, and I often get them wrong. Money line here, UC Riverside hosting UC Santa Barbara, laying 0.5 point. We think Santa Barbara goes into Riverside and wins. That's our play. UC Santa Barbara and the money line. Bradley hosting Valparaiso, 10.5's the line. We think it's a 10-point game. Valpo's our play. This one I don't like either. Providence hosting Creighton. Well, maybe I do. 4.5's the line. We think it's a 4-point game. Creighton is our play. At Providence, Creighton's been tough. Texas Southern hosting Jackson State. This is a SWAC game, so take that into consideration. 6.5's the line. We think it's a 9-point victory. Texas Southern, I think, is probably the best team in the SWAC. And Jackson State is decent. I mean, they're not horrible like some SWAC teams are, but I think 6.5 is an appropriate line there. I think, but I still think Texas Southern covers. LSU hosting Missouri. Hey, LSU, how easy can we make it for you? Okay, can you please win a game? Can you please win a game with the talent that you have on that team? Here, we're going to send you Missouri, okay? It's a 23-point victory for LSU if your heads are where they need to be. But who knows where your heads are? You keep losing. 13.5's the line. We say 23. LSU, we're trying to gift wrap you a victory to get you all straightened out because I know you're good, but you just haven't been proven it. You just lose every game. I like this play. Stanford at Cal, laying 0.5 point. I think Cal is tougher than people think, but even the computer piled on. So Stanford's our play, but I would, if it were me, I'd really consider Cal. Tennessee Tech. Who do you think you are, Tennessee Tech? Laying 6.5. Tennessee Tech is laying 6.5. Get out of here. UT Martin is our play. Take the dog. Tennessee Tech should not be laying 6.5 to anybody. Seattle U on the road at Dixie State, 4.5. They're a better team. We say by 17. We're going to take a Seattle U, but Dixie can play well. Well, are we coming up on the end here? UAB at UTEP, I think. Who's UAB? UAB, it's in El Paso. So, yeah, they're at UTEP. UAB is a great team. 6.5's the line. We say 16. Take UAB on the road to beat UTEP. I don't know why everyone thinks Utah is worth a damn. I don't. I don't think they're a good team. They're favored by 2.5 over Arizona State. Arizona State has pulled rabbit out of their hat after rabbit out of their hat. I think they do it again. I actually think Arizona State wins at Utah. They might be a tired unit, though, but hats off to Arizona State for just being gritty and fighting and scrapping. I love it. I think they're fantastic. Boise State at UNLV, laying 1.5. You better believe it. Boise State's going to win. Even that UNLV's been strong lately. Now they're at home, but I'm telling you, folks, Boise State's going places. Eastern Washington at Sacramento State. They're a good team, but they got that Arizona State mentality. They're going to fight and they're going to scrap and they're not going to just take a loss. Okay, Sacramento State's terrible. 4.5 is the line. Eastern Washington they're going to be the play here for sure. Nervous about this game. Kind of pulling for Gonzaga. I got my buddy John. I'll be at his house tonight watching this game. We always do the romantic thing. He makes me dinner. I bring the wine. Gonzaga wins and covers against St. Mary's on the road. 10.5's the line. We think Gonzaga by 17. And to kind of back that up, San Francisco and St. Mary's, they're very evenly matched. And Gonzaga just beat San Francisco on the road by 16. Okay. I feel a lot of confidence with this. Portland State, who is out of this world, playing so well right now, hosting a horrible Idaho State team. I think they might win by 25. They're at home against Idaho State, 7.5's the line. Man, you could have made this 20 points. I still would have taken Portland State there. They were 3-18 at one, 3-2, I think. Now but they're just playing great. All right, Oregon hosting USC, laying 4.5. There's no way. Well, Oregon just did beat UCLA at home, and USC is probably a little bit tired. I can see where Vegas's head is, 4.5, but we think USC is just clearly the better team, and they pull off a 9-point victory. So it's a money line play, and we're taking USC. Another money line. Utah State at home, laying 2.5 to Colorado State. If Colorado State shows up to play, and there might be a little grudge match between these two, Colorado State wins 71-70. That's our call. Money line 2.5. Colorado State's the play. Well, I can't believe we're all the way through these. There's 100+ games here. Hawaii hosting Cal State Bakersfield. Say no more. Say no more. 5.5. Get it. No problem. Hawaii's the play. Beach, that's how the cool people say it. UC Irvine hosting Beach. 6.5. I like this play. It's 6 points. Beach has been playing well. They've been playing well. They've been playing well. Look how well Long Beach State has been playing. A little slip up at UC Santa Barbara, but they got right back on track. And I think Irvine's down here. And the thing with the Big West is Irvine's played 19 games, okay? UC Davis has played 17. The rest of the teams in Division I men's college basketball have played like 28, 29 games. I don't know why the Big West just simply doesn't play a lot of games, but they don't. But anyways, we like Long Beach State there. So we're taking Beach as the dog by virtue of that half point, and it just makes sense to me. Okay, let's go see if there's any other finals. How about Oklahoma State? Is that a final? And it is a final, and Oklahoma wins 66-62. So they covered that 3.5, and that's our first loss of the day. But our heart was in the right place there. So we go 4-1 to start that string. I just want to make sure of something here. Goes to 114. 114. Yeah. Same amount of games as last week. And last week was like 148 games on Saturday. All right. How about Purdue and Michigan State? I don't think that they're. Oh, no, it's a final. Michigan State went 68-65. So that's a loss for the computer. Red too dark. Let's try this. Yeah, it's probably a little bit better. I know it doesn't look well on some computers and some browsers. Rhode Island and Duquesne 11.5. Let's see if this is a final. Rhode Island won 70-54. 16-point victory, win and cover for the computer. Oh, Eastern Kentucky and Bellarmine. This game had a lot of time left. Yeah, there's still a minute left. Eastern Kentucky's beating them 72-58. So this is going to play out. I don't know why Bellarmine would have been favored. I mean, Eastern Kentucky's at what? I don't know why Bellarmine was favored, but they were. And Butler, where are we with them? Yeah, that's not a final, but Furman and the Citadel is a final. So let's check out the Furman and Citadel just to really rub it in your faces. So Furman, the Furman 94, and Citadel 59. And I'm just making one irrational person very angry right now, and I just love it. To that, because I'm supposed to say the Citadel, but what I'm doing is the Furman and just plain Citadel. Right? 35-point victory for the Furman. And that guy can write a letter to the management and staff of Scores Are USA, and we'll take prompt action. We'll discipline Scores Are for purposely making you mad. PFW in Detroit, we have it as a money line game. We have PFW prevailing. There's 3 minutes left. PFW is beating Detroit 76-71. So if it plays out, that'll be a money line victory. Jacksonville at Florida Gulf Coast. We like Jacksonville here, and there's still 5 minutes left. The Florida Gulf Coast is winning by 5. So I don't see any other finals out there. Oh, yeah, no, we already got them. And a bunch of games are in progress right now, but that is it on the finals. So why don't we take a break and let's reassemble later in the afternoon. So that'll be it for now. I'll check back in with you later. We'll do more of a bite size since all the picks have been broadcasted. we'll do a bite-size 20-minute deal just to get you caught up whenever in the next round of games go final. So that'll do it for now, but look for us to come back a little bit later today and maybe a couple more times. And then I'll have to tell you how my romantic evening with John went, because I'll come back home and record after that game goes final. So we'll talk to y'all the next time I see you.